Suki, today is Genesis 44. Joseph detains Benjamin. Verse 1. Then he commanded the steward of his house, fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put each man's money in the mouth of his sack. Verse 2. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the mouth of the sack of the youngest, with his money for the grain. And he did as Joseph told him. Remember, we left off in chapter 43. They were eating nice foods at Joseph's house. Okay. Now, they're about to go back to Canaan to bring the foods to their father. Joseph said, put the money in their sacks and take my silver cup, put it in Benjamin's sack. Okay. Joseph is going to test his brothers again. Why? He's going to see if they're really sorry for what they did to him, okay? He's going to see if they're changed men, okay? He's going to test them. Okay, let's keep reading, find out what happened. And he did as Joseph told him. Verse 3, as soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away with their donkeys. Verse 4, when they had gone but a short distance from the city, Joseph said to his steward, up, follow after the men. And when you overtake them, say to them, why have you returned evil for good? Why have you stolen my silver cup? Verse 5, is it not from this that my Lord drinks, and by this that he divines? You have done wrong in doing so. Verse 6, when he overtook them, he spoke to them in these words. Verse 7, they said to him, why does my Lord speak such words as these? Far be it from your servants that they should do such things. Verse 8, behold, the money which we found in the mouth of our sacks, we brought back to you from the land of Canaan. How then should we steal silver or gold from your Lord's house? Verse 9, with whomever of your servants it is found, let him die. And we also will be my Lord's slaves. Okay, so we hear this theme a lot, like when people get accused of stealing, they said, we didn't steal. If you find it, let him die. Okay, and they didn't know it was in Benjamin's sack. Okay, that's going to be a big problem for them.
Benjamin didn't do it?
No. Joseph set him up, remember? Joseph told his workers, hey, put the silver cup in Benjamin's sack. Okay, along with the money. Okay, and then they go.
Did it?
No, he didn't do anything.
Who did it?
Joseph's workers. Joseph set him up. He's going to test his brothers to see if they have a good character. Okay? So right now in the beginning, they said, we didn't steal anything. If anyone stole anything, let him die. Okay? We've heard that before. That's a continual thing. Remember, Jacob said that about Rachel. But then Laban didn't find the stuff that Rachel stole. Okay, verse 9. With whomever...
Rachel was hiding it?
Yeah. Rachel was hiding the idols from her dad. Okay, she was foolish. In this case, though, Benjamin did not steal anything, but Joseph's testing his brothers. Verse 9, with whomever of your servants it be found, let him die. We also will be my Lord's slaves. Verse 10, he said, let it be as you say. He with whom it is found shall be my slave, and the rest of you shall be blameless. Okay, so Joseph's workers said, oh, okay, here, I have a counteroffer. I'm not going to kill him. That's going to be my slave, though. Verse 11, then every man quickly lowered his sack to the ground, and every man opened his sack. Verse 12, and he searched, beginning with the eldest and ending with the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Verse 13, then they tore their clothes, and every man loaded his donkey, and they returned to the city. Remember when they get sad in the Bible, they tear their clothes. Okay, that means they're really sad. Verse 14. When Judah and his brothers came to Joseph's house, he was still there, and they fell before him to the ground. Verse 15, Joseph said to them, remember he's talking to them in Egyptian. They still don't know that that's their brother. What deed is this that you have done? Okay, so Joseph says in Egyptian, and then a translator says in Hebrew.
How do you talk Egyptian and Hebrew?
I don't know. Okay, we just pretend, just imagine. Do you not know that such a man as I can indeed divine? Verse 16, and Judah said, what shall we say, my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how can we clear ourselves? God has found out the guilt of your servants. Behold, we are my Lord's slaves, both we and he also, in whose hand the cup has been found. Verse 17, but he said, far be it from me that I should do so. Only the man in whom the cup was found shall be my slave. Okay, this is Joseph's answer. Like, only Benjamin's going to be my slave. But as for you, go in peace to your father. Okay, next part, starting with verse 18, Judah pleads for Benjamin's release. Now Joseph's going to see, oh, his brothers, they're really good men now. Verse 18, then Judah went up to him and said, O my Lord, let your servant, I beg you, speak a word in my Lord's ears. And let not your anger burn against your servant, for you are like Pharaoh himself. Verse 19, my Lord, ask his servants, saying, have you a father or a brother? Verse 20, and we said to my Lord, we have a father, an old man, and a young brother, the child of his old age, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother's children, and his father loves him. Verse 21, then you said to your servants, bring him down to me, that I may set my eyes upon him. Verse 22, we said to my Lord, the lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die. Verse 23, there, Judah's retelling the story of when Joseph first said, bring your brother. Okay, you spies, I think you're spies, bring your brother so I know you're telling the truth. Judah's reminding Joseph, who he thinks is the ruler of Egypt. He doesn't know that's his brother. He's reminding him, hey, remember we told you this? Okay, my elderly father, he loves this child. And if we don't bring him back, he'll die. Okay?
Why they don't know him?
They don't recognize Joseph. He's speaking in Egyptian. He's dressed in very nice clothes, all gold. And in their wildest imagination, they couldn't imagine that was their brother. Verse 25, and when your father said, go again, buy us a little food. Verse 26, we said, we cannot go down if our youngest brother goes with us. Then we will go down, for we cannot see the man's face unless the youngest brother is with us. Verse 27, then your servant, my father, said to us, you know what my wife bore me? 2 sons. Verse 28, one left me, and I said, surely he has been torn to pieces, and I've never seen him since. Verse 29, if you take this one also from me, and harm befalls him, you will bring down my gray hairs in sorrow to Sheol. Verse 30, now therefore, when I become your servant, my father and the lad is not with us. Then, as his life is bound up in the lad's life. Verse 31, okay, if they don't bring Benjamin back, Jacob's going to die. That's what Judah's telling Joseph. Verse 31, when he sees that the lad is not with us, he will die. And your servants will bring down the gray hairs of your servant, our father, with sorrow to Sheol. Verse 32. For your servant became surety for the lad of my father, saying, if I do not bring him back to you, then I shall bear the blame in the sight of my father all my life. Verse 33. Now therefore, let your servant, I beg you, remain instead of the lad as a slave to my Lord, and let the lad go back with his brother. Verse 34. For how can I go back to my father if the lad is not with me? I fear to see the evil that would come upon my father. Okay, so we ended an exciting part in chapter 44. Tomorrow, chapter 45, we're going to read about Joseph makes himself known to his brothers.
Can read 2 chapters?
One chapter, okay? Chapter 44. Tomorrow, we're going to continue. Okay? It's 1, son. It's 1. Okay? Any questions?
2.
Any questions?